For table shoulder scaption, there's a few things I want to focus on before I get into this exercise. I want to make sure that I have a nice, solid, and stable chair to sit in that's not going to wobble or fall out from underneath me. I have a stable surface such as a table or a countertop if you're at home that's not so high that it causes me to lift my shoulder up really high, but not so low that I have to bend down to get my arm on that surface. And then thirdly, I want a towel, something that will just help my arm slide a little bit more easily over that surface. So what we're going to do with this exercise, and you'll also notice that I'm set up on the side of that table or countertop, I'm not directly behind it. So if I'm stretching out my right shoulder, I'm going to be on the left side of that table or counter. And if I was to stretch out my left shoulder, I would be on the right side of that table or counter. But what I want to do is I want to use my good arm to get that affected shoulder up into the start position. And what I want to do is I want to use my offhand to kind of stabilize that shoulder or that arm that we're stretching out so it doesn't fall off the table or anything like that. You'll notice with my hand, I'm in a nice comfortable position. I like to have the outside part of my hand resting on that table and on the towel so I'm not flat like this, because that can cause some internal rotation, which might cause some pinching and discomfort in some people's shoulders. So a good relaxed position with the hand. And what I want to think is I'm going to use my body weight to stretch my shoulder out. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to do direct flexion, which is essentially just going straight up and down, which we simulate if we lean forward with that arm on that surface. And I'm not going to go directly out to the side and lean towards my right side. I'm going to kind of find a balance between directly forward and directly to the side, roughly in the 20 to 30 degree area. So we don't really want to go 45 degrees, that's a little too far. Well, obviously we don't want to be straight. So if I was kind of looking at this as 90 degrees right here, I would want this kind of at 20 to 30 degrees roughly, anywhere in between, that range of motion. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take that free hand, stabilize that affected side. I'm going to use my body weight to push my arm forward. So you'll notice using my body weight allows me to stretch out my arm without actually utilizing and activating muscles, which early on in shoulder rehab can be pretty painful for some people. So what I want to do is I want to hold that stretch once I get to that end position, about 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I come back to that start position. You'll see that the towel allows me to slide, and I'm going to get my set number of repetitions. A thing that I really want to focus on while I'm doing this stretch is I want to feel a slight discomfort, because if we're pushing and working on range of motion, we're going to get a slight discomfort as we push range of motion, but we don't want to get any sharp or shooting pain. So there is a difference between stretching discomfort and sharp shooting pain. If you get that sharp shooting pain, it means that you stretch too far. On your next rep, go a little bit less in terms of how far you lean forward. So the goal here is to push a little bit further each time, but again, within a reasonable pain tolerance. So again, we don't want to go so far that we get sharp pain. And I'm going to get my set number of reps, and the goal over time is we'll increase our range of motion in this scaption movement, which is kind of that in between flexion in front of us and abduction to the side of us. This is a really important movement that we want to get back early on in shoulder rehab.